about $100 million to put into the city budget to support violence reduction programs, where would you put it? And try to keep it to about 3 programs if you can. Councilman Tasca?
I would put it in early childhood education. I would put it into programs helping to strengthen families. You know, most of the families now are headed by women, single heads of households. How we would need to work with those women who are single heads of households to work with their children and strengthen their parenting skills. So, and mine would be on the front end rather than on the back end, focusing in on putting some of that money into the school system too.
Okay, good. Mr. Jones?
I would just kind of reverse the order. I think the first thing I would do, I would put it in probation and parole issues as it relates to young people, because again, these are the folks who are spiraling out of control. These are the same folks; they're not new people usually. Second, I really focus on the DHS families that you know, when I grew up in the neighborhood, sometimes because of poverty and alienation, you can almost determine what families struggle on the margins. You can identify those families early and start to give them some help early. You don't have to wait until it becomes a problem. And lastly, I would really focus on how do you do sort of school-based management. A lot of the behavior issues that manifest themselves in school really are kind of coming back from families and coming also from neighborhoods. So I would definitely target those young people in schools as well.
Okay, good. Mr. Hankins?
I just visited the 1801 Vine Street recently. A young man in my church, 14 years old, pulled a gun on a senior citizen and robbed him. I went to the basement. There was about 50 to 100 children in the basement, awaiting for hearing. I think that, again, and my being on the National Board of Case Managers, I believe that we need to have each of those children assessed and their family needs assessed, as mentioned earlier. We need to follow up that child, and we need to begin to really plan and provide the services that's needed. We're not providing the services needed for our children. We're failing them 2 or 3 places. We're failing them at home. We're failing them in the schools, and we're failing them in the court system. The DHS system is out of control. The city public service.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time is up. All right, so are there questions from the floor around crime, or we have an expert?
Yeah, I think if anyone speak on recreation, we talk about the problem that we're having with our children, all these people in the basement that he just pointed on now. You know, what about putting that money, that $100,000, into recreation for programs for these children? I see that because I was growing up as a younger person. I'm through the public school district system. I went to school, they gave me a job, they kept me busy in the Boys and Girls Clubs, in the recreation centers, the community centers, as you said, Ms. Haskell, the teen center. We need to have more programs for these children to give them something to do. We need to monitor them that way, and then we won't have all these children in the basement.
That's right.
Let me repeat that so that the microphones can pick it up. The question was about recreation programs and after-school programs. You mentioned was it the Boys and Girls Clubs?
Boys and Girls
Clubs.
The YWCA.
And how do we support those?
You know, how to support those things to give these children something to do and keep them busy.
Well, actually, that was mentioned.
That is right in my backyard. I've made sure that the recreation centers in my district are structurally safe, aesthetically clean, and that they provide programs for the young people in the community. They not only have basketball, which is the tradition, we have computer labs, we have fitness rooms, we have a teen center within the rec center. A lot of programs are going on at the rec center, sponsored by volunteers. And so that is my hallmark of my district. My administration is working to make sure that the rec centers and the programs, after-school programs, are available for the young people in my district.
And I would just add one thing. You know, I was chairman of the board of the YMCA in North Philadelphia, Broad and Master Street for 10 years. And not only did we do a state-of-the-art computer technology center, but also we had a family center. So I think, again, that gets back to the holistic issue in terms of, you know, If you have an issue with the child, you usually have an issue with the parents. If the issue is with the parents, it's usually a connection to what's going on probably in the neighborhood with economics. So it's a vicious cycle. So again, it's a holistic issue that, not only is there's a number of organizations that are grappling with this issue, sir, but it's a continued issue of funding, of resources, and also of money just in terms of accountability and priorities.
Mr. Hankins, would you like a chance to respond?
Yeah, again, I think that if we had the services that you mentioned earlier, recreation is definitely needed. We need to have the recreation centers, however, that's staffed with people who really care about our kids. That's the first thing. I also think that, follow, for example, the issue of case management again. If the case manager has the necessary resources, and that money you talked about earlier, then I would make sure that we have basic services that surround those case managers. And those basic services will be where the case manager will refer those kids to, in conjunction with community-based services that's in existence today. Therefore, that child will be able to get what they need to grow